Bone of national development. But the method and policies that support learning are constantly evolving. In Nigeria, rising cost of educational materials and the need for sustainability have pushed policymakers to rethink how learning resources are provided in schools. The government recently introduced the reusable textbooks, which mandates the use of standardized durable textbooks designed to last between 4 to 6 years and prohibits the bundling of disposable workbooks with textbooks. However, the question is, what is the impact of this policy on schools and parents? This is our focus on Panorama today, reaching you live from the Ibadan Network Center of the NTA. I am Kemi Oshin. Thanks for joining us. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has returned to Nigeria after leading the country's delegation to the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. During the visit, Nigeria signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, SEPA, with the United Arab Emirates, aimed at strengthening economic cooperations, boosting trade and investment, promoting technology transfer, and expanding collaborations in sectors such as energy, infrastructure, mining, and renewable energy. At the summit, President Tinubu announced that a joint Nigerian-UAE Investopia will be held in Lagos in February to attract global investors. He also stated that Nigeria plans to mobilize up to $30 billion annually in climate and green industrial finance to support energy transition reforms and expand electricity access nationwide. The engagement highlights Nigeria's commitment to sustainable development and strategic international partnership. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, was among dignitaries that witnessed the inauguration of President Mamadi Doumbouya as the President of Guinea-Conakry. The inauguration of President Doumbouya followed his victory in the December 2025 general election in the country, a democratic watershed which brought the formal end to a 4-year military transition. Vice President Shettima's presence at the event has again underscored Nigeria's leadership role within ECOWAS and reaffirmed the country's commitment to the restoration and sustenance of democratic governance across the sub-region. President Doumbouya will serve a single 7-year term as stipulated under the Guinea's new constitution, approved by a referendum in September 2025. The revised constitution extended the presidential tenure from 5 to 7 years, renewable only once. And moving on, here in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has inaugurated the Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs with the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja, as its chairman. The inauguration brings back the council's comatose since 2011, following the passing of the Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs Bill 2025 into law. Details with Grace Ayonleke.
Her Majesty's wisdom, experience, and deep understanding of the people will undoubtedly...
The revival of the Council of Obas and Chiefs, a key traditional institution, now strengthened by law, following amendment passed by the Oyo State House of Assembly, is expected to serve as a strategic partner to the government in the areas of security, conflict resolution, and grassroots intelligence across the state. Under the new law, the chairmanship of the council will rotate among the Alaafin of Oyo, the Seun of Ogbomoso, and the Olubadan of Ibadan land. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, will assume the first 2-year term as chairman.
Our domains should be safe. Our domains should make progress. Our domains must be conducive to all of us elect.
Acknowledging that traditional rulers remain closest to the people, the governor assured the monarchs of the full support of the state government to enable effective coordination and collaboration.
If the reality further down the line shows that one or two amendments and then there are consensus, why not? They are there, it's their work.
The Oyo State Council of Obas and Chiefs is therefore expected to play a critical role in strengthening the peace and security architecture of Oyo State. Grace Ayolike, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Education has reviewed its policy on the reuse of textbooks in public schools nationwide, a move aimed at improving learning outcomes and easing the financial burden on parents. The development has continued to generate mixed reactions from education stakeholders and members of the public. Khadija Aliyu in this report tells us more.
The policy, which allows textbooks to be used by multiple pupils over several academic sessions, was originally introduced to reduce costs and ensure wider access to learning materials.
If you look at it from that perspective, you tend to look at a reduction in the cost of education, and it will help government to make use of the allocation of their resources to other. We can also look at it from the angle of it will promote sustainability and environmental awareness and quite a robust management system for tracking and maintenance of books.
Some parents who spoke with NTA News welcomed the move as a positive step toward improving the educational system.
Some people are not that buoyant to buy textbooks for children, do you understand? So, and the other textbook the siblings has used, they can just chew for them to use it in other classes.
You appreciate government for doing that for the parents, because the one that is in the primary one can still use the textbook for the one that the elderly brother or sister use.
We parents, we are crying about buying book every year, because when you buy a book this year, next year not prepare money for a book. It's very, very wrong. We appreciate the government about that. If the government can continue and stand on this program, we appreciate it.
However, others have urged the government to ensure proper funding and effective implementation of the policy to avoid failure. Meanwhile, mixed reactions through the policy on graduation ceremony, which has been streamlined to curb unnecessary financial pressure on parents.
I see no reason for small children doing graduation. It's nothing to me.
We want our children to be doing the graduation at when due.
It was of no benefit, because I don't see the certificate is not useful. We cannot use to do anything, to go to work or to do anything for children.
Nigerians are hopeful that the reviews will strengthen the education system and improve quality of education in the country. In Ibadan, Khadijat Aliyu, NTA News.
Thank you. Welcome back. And joining me in the studio is the head of Zone Teaching Service Commission, TESCOM, Ibadan Zone 1, in person of Dr. Abdulrasheed Fasasi. You are welcome to Panorama.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We just heard that background report, and it is clear that the major reasons pushing this reform is the need to cut costs on the educational materials and also sustainability drive. How would you evaluate this as a stakeholder? What is your take on it?
Thank you so much. I believe it's a welcome development, because over time we have had issues with students not having textbooks, and because of the financial implication. And so this will be a way of reducing the financial burden of parents on the amount they spend on buying textbooks. But that's not the only advantage. Apart from sustainability, you have some level of stability within the school system. Okay. It pays even the teacher, because over time, when you use the same book over time, you tend to develop and become better. And the concept will be better understood even by the teacher So it's going to be easier for him to transmit the knowledge of that concept to the student.
So because I was actually going to ask, what is the impact on the teaching and learning in schools?
Exactly. So it's going to improve teaching and learning in school, and I think it's a win-win situation for teachers, students, and parents.
And what about the quality of education that we are receiving? Because
exactly. Now that's the responsibility now falls on the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
To only approve quality textbooks. There are those we call grey authors who would just do something, and the following year they have done another thing. So, but now we need to have what we call evergreen books.
Okay.
Books that even for 10 years
they will be relevant in the educational system. Okay, now when policies are made, another thing is the issue of implementation. How well do you see this policy being implemented, not only with the public schools, but more with private schools who are also supposed to be carried along in this policy?
And thank you so much. I think it should be easier to implement this policy.
All right.
Because major stakeholders will quickly buy into the policy. And the only people who might show some reaction on the other side will be the authors, the publishers, and then some management in private schools that make money from selling textbooks
year in, year out. So
out.
how do you see this schools, private schools, being monitored to ensure that they implement?
So many people would be on the neck of private schools, especially the parents. Especially, you know, there are always issues between proprietors and private, and parents. But in this case, the parents have the backing of the policy, which is compelling the schools to ensure that textbooks that are approved will be used for the next 6 years. And so it is not just the government that will be on the neck of the private schools, but the parents will also be on the neck of such schools. So it's easier. I think the better for them to accept the policy and find another way of making money.
Another part of this policy that is not so pronounced is the issue of graduation ceremonies. That, you know, indiscriminately you leave nursery school to primary school.
Even pupils in crèche also asked to do graduation ceremony.
So what do you see to this?
I think it's purely a way of making money by the private schools.
School owners.
In fact, gradually it was coming into some public schools too. So it has no advantage. And it gives false impression to the student that they have actually arrived. Attained when you have a long way to go. And so it's also going to be a relief to the parents. Money, and I think it should also be an advantage to the private schools in a way. Now, money that will be spent on this graduation
parties
will be part of the money for school fee the following term. And so it should reduce the difficulties in getting school fee from parents. When you have money, part of the money can areas. So I think that's the way the private school should see it.
Thank you very much. I have been speaking with the head of Zone Teaching Service Commission, TESCOM, Ibadan Zone 1, Dr. Abdulrasheed Fasasi. Thank you very much for coming on Panorama.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
At this point, we'll now take a break. When we return, Panorama continues.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, Our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree. We swear in colors. With undying demand. We bet solutions. We ignite passion. Yeah. Ethnicity is unique. We have more than destination.
We are Nigeria. We are Nigeria. Strengthening unity. We know they carry lives. We are Nigeria. We are Nigeria. Together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Come back. The Stay in School initiative of the Osun State Governor, Ademola Adeleke, is yielding positive results. This is why stakeholders in the education sector are commending the governor's efforts in promoting education. Femi Afariogun tells us more.
Creating a safe, secure and supportive learning environment has become a critical step in protecting the future of children and sustaining educational development. In Osun State, the vision is being driven through the Stay in School initiative, a school-based policing and neighborhood watch program aligned with the federal government's Safe School initiative.
When our schools are safe, children stay in school. When communities are vigilant, learning thrives. When government and security institutions work together, the restoration and excellence of our education system become achievable goals.
In a conducive environment, that is where teaching and learning can thrive. And these people, the Peace Corps, they were the one that provided security that we needed in the school. No truancy, no loitering.
The program encourages collaboration among government, security agencies, parents, and host communities to reduce social vices, promote discipline, and ensure that every child of school age remains in a safe and conducive learning environment. In Oshogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Three suspects linked to the killing of 5 forest guards at the National Park office in Oloka village of Oyo State have been apprehended. This revelation was made during an on-the-spot assessment of the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde to the community. Grace Ayonlike brings us details.
To sympathize with families of the victims and evaluate the scale of damage caused by the recent deadly attack, Governor Seyi Makinde visited the affected community, a move that has once again brought the state's security challenges to the fore. The governor's visit highlighted critical gaps in communication and intelligence sharing, which authorities say contributed to delays in response and limited the effectiveness of early warning mechanisms.
You have a meeting, call the telecoms people and ensure you're not isolated anymore.
Reassuring residents of the government's commitment to restoring safety, Governor Makinde declared that the state would not allow criminal elements to establish or operate safe havens in the area.
The security fortified, they are not leaving. We will ensure that you feel their presence in this place from this point forward.
Beyond security measures, the governor also announced immediate relief for affected families. He approved a 5 million naira compensation package and introduced an educational support program offering scholarships to the children of the deceased to enable them complete their education up to the university level. The interventions, according to the state government, are part of broader efforts to address both the immediate humanitarian impact of the attack and the underlying security issues confronting the region. Grace Ayolike, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria and all Nigerians, has congratulated the Super Eagles on winning the bronze medal at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. In a statement, the minister said their performance throughout the tournament was a source of pride and joy to our nation. As they upheld Nigeria's rich football tradition with heart, skill, and resilience, he said from the group stage to the final whistle in Casablanca, the team showed courage, unity, and belief in one another, as they didn't just play, but inspired millions of Nigerians at home and in the diaspora. Securing a bronze medal adds to Nigeria's remarkable record in AFCON history, where the Super Eagles have now continued their strong legacy at this level. He equally commended the coaches, support staff, and every player who wore the green and white jersey. Thank you for your dedication and sacrifice. You faced challenges with determination and gave your best on every pitch. You reminded us that true strength lies in teamwork, belief, and pride in our nation, Nigeria. And still on sports, let's join our sports desk for updates from the sporting world.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria settled for the bronze medal at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco after defeating Egypt 4-2 on penalties. After a goalless 90 minutes, neither side could find a breakthrough, forcing the third-place playoff into a penalty shootout. Nigeria made amends for their semi-final shootout defeat to hosts Morocco by edging past the Pharaohs, although the victory also confirmed Nigeria's record 9 bronze medal in AFCON history. Meanwhile, host Morocco will face the Teranga Lions of Senegal in tonight's final. At the end of the tournament, the Confederation of African Football (CAF) will officially hand over the AFCON flag to Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. The symbolic ceremony will mark the formal transfer of hosting rights to the 3 East African nations who will jointly stage the 2027 edition of the competition. CAF's decision represents a historic milestone for the region, as it will be the first time Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda collaborate to host Africa's biggest football event. Still on football, and to the MPFL, action resumes on Sunday following the midweek fixtures, with Kano Pillars set to host Abia Warriors at the Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano. El Kalemi Warriors will be away to Bendel Insurance in Benin, while Bayelsa United welcome Shooting Stars in Yenagua. In other Sunday matches, Rivers United will entertain Remo Stars, while Ikorodu City enjoy home advantage against Kwara United. Match day 22 will be concluded on Monday. Warri Wolves facing Katsina United, while Kun Khalifat FC take on Rangers in a Southeast derby. To English football, Michael Carrick has begun his Manchester United reign on a high note, guiding the Red Devils to an impressive 2-0 victory over city rivals Manchester City. Goals from Brian Bomo and Patrick Dogu sealed a memorable win for the United. Elsewhere, Liverpool's inconsistency continued as they were held to a 1-1 draw by struggling Burnley. West Ham defeated Tottenham 2-1 to pile more pressure on Thomas Frank, while Chelsea edged Brentford 2-1 to give new coach Liam Rossnell a winning start. On Sunday, Wolverhampton Wanderers will host a resurgent Newcastle United, while Aston Villa take on Everton. With sport update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
That we've come to the end of Panorama, reaching you from the Ibadan Network Center. Good afternoon.